Okay, let's try these half angle formulas. Uh-oh, it's tangent, or sorry, it's radian, so we need to get rid of the radians. It's easier to think in degrees. 180 over pi, those cancel. Okay, so that's 112.5. So we are trying to find the tangent of 112.5. Now that 0.5 right there is a dead giveaway that we've got to do it as something else over 2. So what is that something else? Well, if you take 112.5 and multiply it by 2, it comes out to be 225. So this number right here, I took 112.5 times it by 2. Okay, so we've got our u, and we just need to plug it into our formula. Let's use the bottom one, really doesn't matter this time. So tangent of 112 is going to equal cosine of 225 over 1 plus the sine of 225. Right? Cosine of 225, that's square root of 2 over 2, divided by 1 plus square root of 2 over 2, because that's the same for the sine. Oops, they're both negative because they're in quadrant 3. Okay, negative square root of 2 over 2 divided by, again, we need our common denominator here. This is going to be 2 over 2. Seeing a pattern with these guys? So it'll be 2 minus square root of 2, because it was plus a negative, over 4, which is negative square root of 2 over 2 times 4 over 2 minus square root of 2. I'm wondering if maybe this should have been done, if we did it with this, with the other formula, the 1 minus would be on top this time. Yeah, see how this one has the 1 minus on top instead of on the bottom? I mean, either way, since I'm not making you rationalize it, we can continue with this one, but I should have used that one so that there wasn't a radical, or sorry, so there wasn't a plus or 1 plus something in the bottom. But this one's fine. So it becomes 2. We've got negative 2 times the square root of 2 over 2 minus the square root of 2. And we can leave it at that. If we had done it the other way, it would have come out to be 2 positive 2 minus square root of 2 over 2 minus square root of 2. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud. I believe so. Or maybe it's a negative 2 plus. Either way, I don't care. I'm okay with this answer right there, and we're going to leave it at that. We're not going overboard this topic. I'm just going to keep it go nice and simple. Okay, cosecant. We don't have cosecant formulas, but we do have a sine formula. So we're going to find the sine of 15 degrees, then flip. All right, so 15 degrees, that means we're going to do a half angle formula. You could also do a sum or difference, yes, but we're practicing half angles, so we're going to go with that. That equals plus or minus the square root of 1 minus cosine of u over 2. All right, our u though, I didn't write that down, did I? All right, we want 15 degrees. So 15 degrees times 2 equals 30 degrees. So this is the same thing as sine of 30 divided by 2, which means our u is 30 degrees. So plus or minus square root of 1 minus the cosine of 30 all over 2. Okay, inside we have 1 minus square root of 3 over 2 on top, divided by 2. Need a common denominator, 2 over 2. So plus or minus square root of 2 minus square root of 3 over 2 divided by 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 minus square root of 3 over 2 times 1/2 plus or minus 2 minus the square root of 3 over 4, which would simplify down to plus or minus square root of 2 minus square root of 3 over 2. Okay, now we need to figure out if it's a plus or minus value. Sine of 30 over 2, so 15 degrees is in quadrant 1. So the final answer is the positive square root of 2 minus square root of 3 over 2. But this is for sine. And originally we were looking for cosecant. So if we go down here to the bottom with cosecant, that means the cosecant of 15 degrees is equal to 2 over square root of 2 minus square root of 3. And again, I'll let you leave it at that. But normally you would rationalize it. Okay, so here's another one of those problems where it gives you the value, one of the values, and it wants you to use that information to find these other things. So cosine of u over 2, half angle, right? We don't even need to know what u is in this place. We just need to be able to use the formula. So cosine of u over 2 is going to be plus or minus square root of 1 plus cosine of u, right? Check the formula real quick. Let me check because I was getting mixed up. Yep, plus for cosine. So we need cosine of u. Got it. Ooh, this one's going to be easy. So plus or minus what they already gave us cosine of u. So 1 plus 2/3 in the top divided by 2. And you see now this is the part that's going to mess people up is this arithmetic part, huh? Because it's been so long. Well, it's actually kind of complicated, isn't it? Anyways, need a common denominator. Same thing again and again. That's 2 over 2. So now it's 2 plus, 3 over 3. My bad. Let me back up. Backing up. Supposed to be 3 over 3. Got ahead of myself. 3 over 3, because the common denominator is actually 3. So we've got 3 plus 2, which is 5 over 3, divided by 2. Okay, plus or minus 5 over 3 times 1/2, which is minus square root of 5 over 6. That one you guys can rationalize. That's kind of easy. Square root of 5 over square root of 6. Rationalizing means to multiply by this guy. So this equals plus or minus square root of 30 over 6. Then we have to decide the plus or minus. Well, if it tells you that u is in quadrant 4, that means u over 2 is in which quadrant? Now be careful because it tells you that u is in quadrant 4. but u over 2 is going to be different. Now, here's how you got to think about it. Here's 270 to 360. That's quadrant 4. So if I came in and I wanted to find u over 2, that means it would have to be between half of that and half of that, which is 135 and 180. So if u is in between 360 and 270, then u over 2 divided by 2 is in between 135 and 180, which is in quadrant 2. Now that's important because that's different if I'd have gone with quadrant 4. Quadrant 2 says our answer, our cosine of u over 2 equals the negative version of square root of 30 over 6. And no, you cannot reduce that 6 and 30. The 6 is on the outside, the 30 is on the inside, and they cannot talk to each other. Phew. I love problems like that, don't you? Yes, yes you do, don't I? All right, let's find tangent. This one should go quicker, hopefully, right? Easier formulas. So the tangent of u over 2 is, we're going to use the cosine formula, or sorry, the cosine on top formula. So 1 minus cosine of u over the sine of u. Now we have cosine of u, but we don't have the sine of u. So easiest way to find it, I would use the Pythagorean theorem. Sine squared of u equals 1 minus cosine squared. What was cosine squared again? 2/3. So 2/3 squared. 1 minus 4/9. 9 over 9, so 5 over 9. Oh, these numbers look familiar. Sine squared of u, square root, hurry. Sine equals plus or minus square root of 5 over 3. Now there's a plus or minus here also, but we're talking about u. Since u is in quadrant 4, the sign is negative. So sine of u is actually equal to negative square root of 5 over 3. And we'll need that up here. Oh, boat taking us where we need to go. All right, here we go. Whoops. Right. We're going to have on top 1 minus 2/3 divided by negative square root of 5 over 3. Okay, again, dun, 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 imagine that common denominator. 3 over 3. So 3 minus 2 is 1/3 divided by negative square root of 5 over 3. All right, flip. Negative 3 over square root of 5 cancels. 1 on top, square root of 5 on the bottom, and it's negative. And then when you rationalize that, you get negative square root of 5 over 5. Dun, 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 dun.